When Henry Ford changed the world with the Model T, he unintentionally opened the door to one of the biggest social revolutions in human history, the moment when cars became part of every household. Before Ford, owning a car was a dream reserved for the elite. After Ford, it became a symbol of family freedom. The automobile was no longer just a machine, it was becoming a new member of the home. But as the world moved deeper into the 20th century, dramatic events, economic collapse, global conflict, and industrial rebirth would shape what cars meant for families around the world. The years after Ford's success were filled with excitement. American families started using cars not only for travel but for daily life. People drove to work, children rode to school, families visited relatives miles away. Distances that once took hours on foot or by horse suddenly felt small. Cars began replacing horses, carriages, and trains for personal use. The driveway became a new symbol of stability. To many households, owning a car meant progress. It meant independence. It meant entering a modern age. But that dream was shaken in 1929 when the Great Depression hit the world like a storm. Americans lost jobs, factories shut down, and families struggled to survive. Car sales collapsed almost completely. Thousands of people sold their cars to buy food, while many others moved across the country in broken-down vehicles, searching for work. Families were seen living inside old cars, traveling from town to town with their entire life packed on the roof. The automobile, once a sign of prosperity, became a symbol of survival. Yet even in the hardships of the Depression, one truth remained: cars were now deeply tied to the life of the average household. As the world tried to recover, a much darker chapter began. World War II erupted in 1939, and everything changed again. Factories that once produced family cars now made military trucks, tanks, engines, and aircraft. Household car production stopped entirely. Rubber, steel, and fuel were reserved for the war effort. Families who had cars were asked to reduce driving. Tires were repaired repeatedly because new ones were nearly impossible to find. Gasoline was rationed. Many homes covered their cars with cloth and stored them for years. The automobile went from being a household convenience to a reminder of a world at war. Yet, at the same time, war forced automakers to innovate at a speed they had never imagined. They created stronger engines, durable suspensions, faster vehicles, and advanced manufacturing techniques. Women entered factories for the first time in history, working in automobile plants as welders, mechanics, and assembly line operators. Families across America and Europe saw how essential the automobile industry had become. It wasn't just about cars, it was about national strength, engineering, and unity. When the war finally ended in 1945, the world was broken, but hopeful. Millions of soldiers returned home, eager to rebuild their families and lives. Governments invested in highways, suburbs expanded, and families once again began to dream. Automakers shifted back from military production to building household vehicles. This time, they had new technologies, stronger factories, and bigger ambitions. The automobile was ready to enter homes at a scale never seen before. In America, the 1950s marked the birth of the family car. The Ford, Chevrolet, and Plymouth brands produced spacious sedans designed for comfort and safety. Cars now had radios, heaters, chrome trims, and smooth suspension. Families took weekend road trips, picnics, and vacations that were once impossible. Teenagers drove for fun. Moms used cars for groceries. Dads drove to work. The car had officially become part of the family. In Europe, the situation was different but just as transformative. The continent was still recovering from war, so families needed small, affordable cars. Companies like Volkswagen, Fiat, and Citroën rose rapidly. The Volkswagen Beetle became the car of the people, simple and reliable. The Fiat 500 helped Italian households move again. The French Citroën 2CV brought mobility to rural families. For the first time, millions of European homes owned their first car, proof that life was returning to normal. Meanwhile in Japan, the idea of the household car was only beginning. After war destruction, Japanese companies rebuilt from scratch. Toyota, Nissan, and Honda started designing compact, fuel-efficient cars perfect for small Japanese families. These humble beginnings would lead to Japan becoming one of the world's biggest makers of family automobiles. By the end of the 1950s, the world had been reshaped completely. The automobile had survived economic collapse, fueled global war, and powered national recovery. More importantly, it had settled into the life of every home. It carried groceries, babies, workers, school books, hopes, and dreams. For the first time in history, a simple family could look at their driveway and see not a luxury, but a necessity. The car had become a member of the household, changing the rhythm of daily life forever. And the next era would take this transformation even further, as families around the world demanded faster, safer, and more stylish cars, pushing the industry into a new age of innovation.